Now, for further analysis, joining us is Charles Fakroha, stockbroker and iBrandTV senior analyst. Thank you for joining us, Charles.
Thank you, Omobolani, for having me.
Good morning to you.
Morning.
Well, let's start this with this story saying that the federal government would now hand over the Enugu Road project to MTN. What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, thank you very much. That's a very good one for the federal government. That's not the first time we have seen such a thing. We've done that somewhere with the Lagos-Badagry Express Road too. Yes, so but a tax credit is an amount of money the taxpayer can subtract directly from the tax they are owing the government. So it's a good development. So instead of them paying the tax to government, the full tax, what they spend will be used to construct the road, so they will not simply deduct that amount. So if they spend, let's say, about 100 billion naira to do that road construction, they are just going to deduct that amount from their outstanding tax. It is not a tax reduction, it is not a tax holiday. It's a good way in which government can use to fund some of the infrastructural projects. So with the under 7 signed by President Mohamed Buhari in 2019, that has commenced, and it's a very good development.
So what benefits would this portend for the average Nigerian?
Yes, what it portends is that the government will have the cash available to fund that project. So, and that funding is coming from this company. So the government can now free its cash to do some other things.
Okay.
However, when the tax is due to be paid, then the company concerned will not pay their full tax. They will just deduct what they are using assisting the government. That's the tax credit.
Interesting. And we hope that the funds will be channeled to the right, proper quarters so that it's not eventually embezzled.
Well, we've seen it happen before, and I'm sure it's going to be the same thing.
Okay. Well, let's talk food security. Now, this statistics is showing that 19.4 million Nigerians are facing hunger. That's the federal government expressing concern over recent statistics by Food and Agriculture Organization showing that 19.4 million Nigerians across 21 states and the FCT are food insecure. Of course, these statistics shouldn't be a surprise, should it?
It's not a surprise. I think the figures for me, the figures will have gone beyond 19.4 million Nigerians. I'm sure it should be above 50 million Nigerians because of the recent flood crisis that has affected over 20 states in Nigeria. So that figure I think should be more than 19.4 million people.
So apparently we're dealing with a bigger issue than what we even see here according to these statistics.
Yes, it's a very, very serious issue. When people begin to feel hunger, it's very difficult, and that can lead to so many other things. However, we're happy the government is saying they are doing all they can to mitigate the food challenge. They said it's COVID-19 and Russia-Ukraine war. For me, all that is not an excuse. Nigeria, we have valuable land, we have the people, we can feed ourselves. Yes, there are challenges here and there, then this could have been abated, and of course, this number is due to a variable minimum if we have done what we are expected to do. But I will employ the government, yes, we don't need to give up. Even those areas where there are flooding, people can still be moved to other areas, and there are other particular areas where farming can still go on, and of course, we will be able to harvest using modern technology to store our products and feed the steaming population. Nigeria can do it. We don't need to face food crisis if the government does what is expected to do.
Well, they are saying, according to the Minister of Agriculture, is saying that Nigerians shouldn't panic, that the federal government is doing all it can to mitigate the food challenge. Is this some form of, should this, reduce the worry or make Nigerians feel better? But before you answer that, let's take a break. We'll come back to continue the conversation. Thank you for staying with us. We're still analyzing the top business stories right here on Business Breakfast, and Charles Fakroha is still with us virtually. So, Charles, I was talking about the celebration, of course, the preparation for the celebration of World Food Day, which is supposed to hold on the 16th of this month. That's on Sunday. And now the federal government is trying to douse the tension, looking at the statistics that says 19.4 million Nigerians are, food insecure. But you are saying that this is even not reflecting the actual reality on ground. But the Minister of Agriculture says Nigerians shouldn't panic, that the federal government is doing all it can to mitigate the food challenge. Is this enough to douse the tension?
That should be enough to douse the tension, because what the government do at this stage is to encourage the few Nigerians who have their farmlands have not been ravaged by flood to increase their yield per hectare. And we can do this by deploying improved technology, sustainable agriculture, so that at the end of the day, the few acres of land that we have used to cultivate will give us the optimal yield in terms of our produce. And I'm sure with effective distribution, then of course we'll be able to feed the teeming population of Nigerians who are facing food hunger directly.
But they've talked about the causes of this crisis. Of course, you mentioned flood. The minister says he attributed it to COVID-19 pandemic, the lack of fertilizer for those farmers, and then, of course, the issue of the flood. But one would wonder if we are doing enough as a country that says he wants to, or rather as an administration that came into office promising to diversify into agriculture. You'd wonder if the government is doing enough, especially when it comes to the area of providing seedlings, fertilizer for those farmers, providing machines so that they can move to mechanized farming. Is this government doing enough?
Yes, I would say the government has not done enough. It is not something, and it can be improved upon. So the most important thing is for the government to recognize that, yes, we still need to do more. And of course, on what we are saying, the government has put all the machines in motion to improve and do more. And of course, I respect entries from the Agricultural Institute who also need to make their findings available to these farmers for improved seedling so that we can get the optimal yield from the little land that we are available for cultivation.
All right, this next story is an interesting one, talking about Nigerians, using POS more. And that's according to the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System, NIBSS, saying that in the last 9 months of the year, Nigerians spent a total of 6.05 trillion naira over point of sales, that's POS, which is almost the same amount recorded in the full year 2021, which stood at 6.4 trillion naira. So apparently, comparing this with what happened in 2021, this is a huge growth. What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, well, it goes to show that the POS has come to stay in the country. The technology involved is simple. Even those who are not computer literate, even those who are just illiterate, those people can have their card, go to the POS, do their transaction, withdraw money, even in some cases, even pay money, transfer money, so, and that's why we are seeing this increase, because more and more people are being included. They are using this service, which is good for the country. It goes to show that we are gradually approaching the cashless policy. My card as an old person, even in the villages, you will surprise that once there is network, the villagers are transacting using POS machines. It's a very good development, and that's what we are seeing the figures. You can see that compared to 2021, there is an increase, because not right now, we have done almost the same figures. So it's a very good development. However, I would just employ the authorities to see that a lot of measures are put in place to avoid any of these cyber threats.
Because I was going to come to that. There have been reports of people being swindled due to the use of these POS terminals. And one would wonder if enough is being done, especially when it comes to data security. We were talking about data protection the other day. And I wonder if enough is done to protect people, individuals' data when it comes to the use of these POS terminals.
Yes, and that's why we saw that the Data Protection Bill, which is in the National Assembly as an executive bill, will be signed into law. That also goes a long way in protecting the users of these electronic channels, so there should not be so much panic. However, the providers and of course the users to be careful, because when you are pointing your bill, please do not allow the operators of that POS to see what you are doing, or let them begin, let them assist you to do it. So do it in a very strict manner, so they don't see what you are pointing. So that also goes a long way in protecting us from the cyber criminals.
There's also the part of providing more job opportunities, especially for these POS operators. But let's look at the other side. On the flip side, wouldn't this have some form of adverse effect on the regular deposit money banks?
Yes, this was a concern long ago, even before the implementation came up. They were saying, yes, without people to forget, they don't want to see long queues in the bank. The brick and mortar bank is gradually giving way. So it's an alternative. So if you don't have problems with your account, you can now go to the brick and the mortar that is in bank, the physical building. Let you know, just do some transactions, just walk down to your POS, put down the electronic and do your business. Yes, there should be a balance, but I think it's option to the investor or the user has the option of going to the bank or using the electronic means.
So how do you think this can be improved on? Yet it's a good thing that it has increased by 14% right now, to 100.4 million in September 2022, just last month. What can we do to improve this, especially when it comes to bringing the unbanked in and creating more job opportunities for the operators?
Yes, we are across the board. There will be financial inclusion. You can see that even in the rural areas where you don't have some of these financial institutions, with the presence of POS, they will be included in the financial services industry. And because it's electronic, the government can capture the number of people that are using it, and of course it can be monitored. So all we need to do is, for you as users, we just need to be a little bit careful when we are using this platform, and ensure that even the national who provide this service are properly regulated, they are properly regulated, and ensure that they are persons of that this person knows how to be done on them, and we will know if anything has gone wrong.
But they should be regulated, shouldn't they, by the banks? Who regulates them? The banks?
Yes, the banks regulate themselves. The banks need to put measures in place to see that from their own end, they also see what is going on.
But let's also look at the fact that these POS operators depend largely on the network providers, and sometimes there's always issue of poor internet connection, which leads to you paying in, or your money getting deducted and you not getting paid. So there are issues of internet service providers. How can this be resolved?
Yes, that is a very real concern, and all of us have experienced it one side or the other. Yes, and that's why the NCC and the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy are talking of increasing broadband penetration. It is the quality of the internet services. We're talking of moving now to, instead of the digital 4G, moving on to 5G, where 3 and all that. This will improve. When the internet services is full, of course, we'll see an improvement in the services of this POS.
All right, let's move on to this next story, and this is coming from the NNPC Limited, saying they have entered into cash for crude deals worth about $5.6 billion with some of their business partners at their forages for cash to revamp the country's ailing oil sector. What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, I started this to have come long ago, but it's good for them. It shows that maybe changing the nomenclature is impacting on their performance, because this powerful agreement is what we call in the financial market. You already have a ready market for your product. So at any point in time, that amount of crude, about 1.8 million barrels, will be delivered to that single export terminal. And of course, as long as it's delivered what? The government can raise a lot of revenue from there in terms of paying their cash costs and improving the drilling, oil and gas sector we are experiencing today in the country.
But for you to sell a product, you must also have it in abundance, or at least in sufficient quantity. Do we even have this oil as we speak? The oil revenue is dwindling because of the fact that we have issues with production, and that the federal government has attributed that to oil theft. So isn't that a big issue?
Yes. That will sound like this, however, because there is a forward agreement. It's a contract already, so that agreement is distributed over any other goods we want to export. So as long as we're able to meet that 1.8 million barrels, then
per day? That's 1.8 million barrels per day, right?
Not per day. That is what is allocated for this agreement.
Okay.
We will have delivery dates. So at a particular day,
all
we
right,
must deliver this amount of oil to these people.
But wouldn't it affect our own, consumption and production generally?
Of course, that is the challenge that we are going to have. Because we sell an agreement, and because they are willing and ready, as soon as we deliver, they pay your money to you. Yes, so the only thing we need to do is to ensure that we block the leakages and thank God a lot of the oil theft, some of the things that they didn't use today have been discovered. And we believe moving forward, we'll have less and less of oil theft, and we'll be able to meet our production quota at the same time. Probably, all things being equal, we will revert back to the number one oil producing country in Africa.
Well, you say thank God, but indeed we cannot fully be thankful until those who are, culpable, the oil thieves, are brought to book and been prosecuted for their crimes. Well, thank you so much for your time on the show, Charles Fakroha.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Have a good day now. Still to come on the show, the Nigerian Exchange Limited ended on a negative note on Wednesday as the equity markets depreciated by 0.07%. All-share index slid to 47,531.8 as the market lost 18 billion naira. We will be looking at this as we check out how the market performed yesterday. And that would be after this break. Don't go anywhere.